Well, hello, everybody. Hope you guys are having a good time. Hope you're doing well. Welcome in to Shackled City, episode 164. Hope you're all doing all right on this awesome Wednesday. Welcome in Nine Nightmares, Knocked, Death Cults, Elusive. Hi, Vampire. Welcome in, guys. Yeah, so how are you guys doing? Some of you I haven't talked to in a while.
Doing pretty good.
Yeah. I'm curious, what did you guys do? Will?
What's up?
You have such an ancient stick in your ass, I swear to God. You are an angry grandfather.
Legends tell the great California redwood. It has taken root.
Has it now?
Oh, God.
Has it now? Just a quick spot here. It looks like before we went on this brief break, we hit, Spam hit us with 3 gift subs. Guys, remember, every time we get 5 gifted subs, we give luck rerolls to all the players. You can help out or you can. If you want to make them suffer, you don't have to do anything. But if you so desire to be of any kind of assistance to the players, plus just generally kind to me, that's the way to do it. Which right now, Phelan put the 4th one in. We need one more. Put us at 370, and that will make sure that we had our first luck reroll of the night. Can my subs assist Bub's rolls?
No.
Why you gotta be that hateful?
Yeah,
Only villains do
I think it could. That would be dope. But I think
No.
it'll take twice as much. If we're gonna put any kind of leniency on the players here and make it fair, twice as many.
2 to R1.
Yeah,
Or 1 to R2.
that's
There you
correct.
The price also changes dynamically, so feel free to haggle.
Knock subbing up Death Cult. There we go. Look at that. You guys have your first luck reroll.
Hey.
So folks. Bam. Luck reroll is up. If you see this, Bub, you can use my Wild Magic Burst to protect Jakob this session. But only if you see this. Look at that. Isn't that nice? That's got to feel at least a little good.
See, you say protect.
I need to know who did this.
Can I counter
It
that?
was
I mean,
Haley. The light.
that was Phelan.
Yeah.
Oh, Faye.
I can start taking notes. Sloth, you just got to tell me when you want it to happen, because you don't necessarily just need for his spells, right?
Yeah, well, it seemed like anything that's cast on Sniper is what that is. Like, in defense of Sniper. Unless there's other stipulations to that.
Let's see what Sloth wants. Phelan wants to protect. Sloth wants to attack.
I'm imagining as Kiana staring at you, trying to activate her Truth Light, and then something happening.
And her eyes just explode.
Just turn to glitter.
Or no, better yet, Fables tries to go ahead and, Jedi mind trick my ass.
Tries to Jedi mind trick you, turns
Yeah,
you into
and
a
her
frog
eyeballs
instead.
explode.
It's every 5. Every time it hits a 5th, which I'm not sure why it's not updating, but it should. I can tell you right now.
It wants
we
to
need 2
hover
more.
on the 69.
We need 2 more. We're at 373 at the moment. It just hasn't updated for whatever reason. It will though, I promise.
Damn, it's fine.
All right, any voice of God over here.
Yeah, no joke. Oh, he wants to give me the reroll? So then it would be 2 more. Yes, that would put 1 in my pocket. It'll give them 2, give me 1. And I'll make note of how many I get.
Okay.
I just hate that Sloth always wants to see me get hurt.
I mean,
I mean,
are you
it's
really
a very,
surprised?
it's a very personal thing on his end. It's like every chance
Of course
he gets,
it's personal.
Specifically. Why?
Not you, your character. Okay, I mean, that's fine. So,
Yeah,
while,
just why specifically my character?
while they're figuring that out, while we're deciding if you guys get more luck rerolls or if I get any at this point, you guys hit me with a recap. Let's go back a little bit though. Let's dial it back. Let's talk about before the war. Well, the combat, if we will. The attack of the vampires on Cauldron.
The Sucky Knight.
Yeah.
Yes, but before we do that, everyone, get your chains and get your locks. Get shackled
God
in for
damn
tonight's
you,
Shackled
Rahk.
recap. Woo!
Is it? Can we take a vote to kick him out?
All right, so going off of what happened 2 weeks ago. No, 3 weeks ago. Given the attack of Cauldron, the Night of Blood and Fire, as it were. The vampire children finally decided to assemble with the assistance of a dire zombie bear and the 3 hags that we had met from the Demon Scar a while back.
Where did you guys find the hags? What was their purpose?
They were servants to Nab the Tauren.
Okay. What purpose did they serve, though? Like, they served him, but what did they do?
As far as I know, they were the ones that were making that weird crystal liquid stuff.
It's a really good guess.
They were the ones that were imposing as the trumpet archons when we were in the dungeon.
Yeah.
Correct.
That's also
eliciting
true.
false prophecies and such. From that attack, they ended up spreading out throughout the city. Well, swarming it, to be more precise. We ended up breaking off the groups. The northwestern side of Cauldron was the most salvaged part of the city given in the attack. The southeast was the most damaged given the dragon fire that had ensued during the combat. Given that time, Rahk and Cort had taken heavy damage during the fight, almost fatally, fighting off the hags and the zombie bear and 2 of the vampire children. Jakob, the Blue Duke, the mayor, and there was another person, Jenya, had combined their forces together to stop another 2 of the another one of the vampire children with a horde of vampire goblins. Ulhime went off to the Temple of Cord. Cord. Temple of Cord.
Yes.
To gather aid from the High Priest. Not Lidu.
Nope.
Ron Lert. Correct?
Yes.
Turns out that one of the vampire children was in fact his daughter.
Yeah.
And he was trying to keep her alive. Didn't go so well. Ulhime ended up destroying her and telling the priest before he left to go get his men and assist with the battle, which didn't happen. The night rounded out with Dugobras at one point becoming injured after the battle. We lost the Blue Duke. The majority, if not all, with the exception I think of 2 or 3 of the orcs left after the Blue Duke fell. We saved a decent amount after the battle. We still lost a lot of food reserves due to a pillar falling over into one of the nearby food stores.
Yeah. Let's you've said a ton. Let's give the other Tweedles an opportunity to talk about things.
No problem.
I think he was the most coherent.
I transformed into my inner self, and then left town to go play with a lightning doggo.
Why?
I was outside of the town. I don't really know why. I was not in my proper state of mind. My body was kind of being compelled to do whatever my body wanted to do, I guess. And then there was this great shimmer coming from the forest. And so like me in real life, something shiny. I'm gonna go figure out what it is.
Proof.
And,
I am so used to that, even in real life.
Yeah. And then I took out after it, and then it, tore me asunder, and then I pretty much died. It tore my chest plates out. The bone plating that I have naturally occurring in my skin from being a pseudo demon tore out of my chest.
Okay, all right. So let's dial that back a little bit. Let's explain why you're a pseudo demon. Why is this?
Bad choices.
One day, a couple sessions ago, I decided to follow this urge I had when I was compelled to go. Don't know where it was leading me, but I decided to follow it anyways, and it led me into an abandoned house with a nice man named Phistopheles, and he said I could call him Phil, and that's what I usually do. And he told me that he could make a deal with me, and I could have whatever I wanted in exchange for my soul.
Right.
And so I said, I need to be as strong as the forces that counter me. I want to become a powerful demon. And so he opened some kind of interesting rift, and he just reached through and grabbed this demon and stabbed it. And it was a Hez room.
He kind of didn't stab it. I mean, he did, but he kind of didn't.
Yeah, it was this magical, ethereal blade that just kind of pierced it, and it died.
From
and then
your hand?
Yeah.
So then you began to adapt these features and see this power. But you haven't really seen much in the way of, like, cosmic or demonic ability. You've just saw a physical change. Do you think there's a reason for that?
I think I need to figure out how to, attune and channel this inner being. Instead of just kind of being myself, I need to figure out a way that I can release my pent-up demon.
Yeah, you do. You gotta release that pent-up demon.
Just not in town, if possible.
Sure. So that might take you into the demon scar. You think?
I think I kind of want to visit sometime.
Yeah, not terrible.
Probably sometime soon, but not when town's being flooded by gobos.
Yeah, and then Phil met you post the attack.
Yeah, after the attack, I was pretty much dying and laying on the ground, bleeding out, and Phil showed up, and he's like, "Yeah, no, you're not allowed to die today." And he cast an equivalent of some gentle repose on me, and I remained in stasis, not dying, not bleeding out, but not really alive. And one of the guards that was fleeing town, one of the half-orcs, found me and picked me up and brought me back to town.
Yeah, brought you back.
Yeah.
So there was some shenanigans that took you back into town where post-combat you were healed, you were brought back to the living world, and you had discovered that some of your allies were hurt. Some of them were a bit more worse off, and the worst in situation was likely Jakob, who now has a new esteemed role in Cauldron. Jakob, what role is that?
I'm the new lieutenant of the city guard.
Yeah. Yeah, you are.
It just goes to show. It's not what you do, it's who you know.
It's not what you do, it's who you do it to.
It's
Yep. From that morning being on the chopping block and set to die, to that evening being the lieutenant of the guard, this all happened in 12 hours. That's the power of positive thinking.
This was all Jacob's main goal.
You know,
he just wanted another character to
become a
have control of the
televangelist.
guard.
If you're ever curious as to how this works, not based upon my recommendation, you could just start slaughtering the innocent, starting with children, and see where it winds you up. I don't
He's
think
already
you'll be so
there.
lucky.
See, that's what it is. Mass genocide. Karma got so bad, it turned good.
It's not mass genocide. It's more of intermedial genocide. Like you start low and then you kind of work your way up to it.
Yeah, I feel like he's not a mass murderer, he's a serial killer.
I mean,
one
just
one
think,
far
if
apart.
I hadn't
not all at
killed
once.
that child in the fight, in the flaming remains of the city, I would have probably been sent to the gallows again. But turns out it was the straw that broke the camel's back and tipped the wages, tipped the lever back in my favor.
It's true. So Sloth and everybody else that's curious to know how this happened to work, how he went from killing 115 plus innocents to now being the second in command of the guard. He was to be put to death, hung at first light, and
I kind of was.
he kind of was in a roundabout way. We'll just Tarantino this real quick. After he was appointed, or the moment that he became appointed to the second in command, Jacob looked at the camera and he went, "You're probably wondering how I ended up like this. Well, let's talk about it." And then it rewinds to where it shows him being hung at first light, but it's not actually him. Instead, the person that was hung was Klaus. Klaus was tethered with magical cuffs, black bagged over his head with an amulet that anchored his elemental soul to the body, and then he was hung and permanently killed. God rest his soul. He did so much, and at the same time, so very little. in the best and worst of ways. But he did. He kicked the bucket. Now, some more shenanigans went down before eventually he was found by Thelsa. Thelsa spotted the remedial butterfly fluttering on this one-winged angel, nearly taken down by a hawk before Thelsa decided that she was going to go full caveman and tear the hawk's throat out with her mouth.
Not to mention, I caught it. I caught it out of the air.
Yeah, she kind of did this weird, walk fu, run across rooftops, captured it.
I know why. She did it. She did it because she had no magic. She had no magic available to her, and she couldn't physically punch it. She was not capable of hitting it, so she held it down with both hands
And ate it.
and tore its throat out, or at least tried to.
It's a lot of feathers.
It was a lot of
mostly
feathers, yes, which brought about children screaming down the street. Inevitably,
But I mean, that we're used to that.
Inevitably, she took the hawk and the butterfly back to their humble abode, the bathhouse turned potential guild house. And then shit went real wonky. Vampires attacked. Yeah. It was rough.
You're talking like one or two vampires, right?
Yeah, and like always, she made the mistake of leaving me alone. And there I am, under a bowl, under a helmet, flapping on face jerky. When in comes Daddy Nabthatorin.
You have to enunciate. Like, your L's came out real silent, and it sounded real bad. And I quote, "I was there, in a helmet, fapping on face jerky."
Still not entirely wrong, but neither here nor there. Yeah, so along comes Nabthatorin to go ahead and pull me out of my metaphysical funk. Went ahead and made me a real boy again.
Yep.
With some extras at that.
Yes, it did.
Now I'm apparently showing a lot more of my parentage because, it wasn't bad enough what everything I'd been going through so far. So now I have crab claws. So why not Zoidberg?
Well, okay, all right. I feel like you're doing yourself a mighty injustice here by just declaring them as crab claws. They're literally metallic finger scissor shears that let you cleave through a goblin with one pinch.
Yeah, what crabs have.
Yeah.
Ah,
What, your crabs don't have that?
no, my hands don't have scissors built in.
Oh, well.
Yeah, I mean, red nose crabs.
Yeah. I mean, me and Will are in Florida. We're used to them.
I'm unhappy with everything that is going on right now.
It's like a quadruple entendre. I'm a little...
I do not like this, Sam. I am.
Sometimes it just works out. But yes, after being turned into a real boy, I managed to go ahead and slip on the now absentee Klaus's mask and kicked off to rescue the day.
Yeah. Yeah, you...
And seriously, I did. I kicked ass.
You
in the
did.
city.
You actually did, though. You adapted the mask, turning into what looks to be a sylph, and you fought alongside pretty much everyone, tearing through numbers of goblins.
Yeah, I mean, you should have seen it. Every 100 yards, I was going ahead and just throwing down a, Jakob for mayor sign or something like that. But
It was
no, not really.
you were
That's
really
what you
throwing
beat
down a
me
lot
up
of
with. It was Jacob for mayor signs.
a lot of failed dice was what
Really rallied.
it looked like near the end. But yeah, you're right. You came through and you saved some of the people of the town. With your influence, you were able to swing them into success. Where was Ulhime again?
In the void.
Doing his own thing.
No, he was not in the void.
Or no, this was after. Yeah. this was
No,
after.
yeah. I mean, Ulhime was off doing his own thing because, well, he can protect himself, kind of hide himself from evil. So he was just like straight up Narutoing through the city.
Yeah.
You went to go Naruto
Just
into the mayor,
boom,
didn't you?
boom.
Yeah.
I
True
took
enough.
a knee and I put on my Leaf Village headband, and then I fucking Naruto ran all the way to the church.
Yeah, Sensei, I just have to go out this one time.
I was like, all right, I'll see you later, and then all you hear is like right as I jumped in, it's all yeah,
Yeah, everyone's just kind of looking around, wondering where the soundtrack came from.
yeah. Ulhime should have been invisible, but he was so fucking loud because he was making his own music on the way. He's all go.
I actually can't remove you from the call, and I don't know why.
Because Will's in charge.
Will's the owner.
He is now server muted. You're welcome. Hey.
Oh, it's perfect. It's perfect. But push come to shove, we saw that a particular Mrs. Kiana Green saw through the ruse. She saw that Jacob was somehow still alive. However, she fought next to him through most of the combat, or at least the end times of combat.
And he was open, and he openly admitted that who he was and what was going on.
Oh yeah, not that you could hide it because she saw through it. How many bits to silence the streamers? I don't think you can technically.
Well, you slip a couple $100, you'd be amazed at what you can get done.
Yes, samesies. I agreed. But she thought that the best way to control Jacob was to put Jacob under her command, to know exactly what he's doing at all times, to watch him and dictate his moves. Because letting him just freely walk around the city isn't doing it, and killing him, well, she tried that once and it didn't work. He's a little bit of a tenacious kind of guy. This seems
So
to
the
work
best way to fix this? Give the motherfucker a job.
Employ him. Put him in a series of responsible situations. Make him do things outside of the city, and that's exactly what he was appointed to do. What's happening with Rahk?
Disappointment.
Just okay, all right.
Just real sad about the current situation.
Yeah.
As far as what went on during the raid, Rahk basically just assisted everyone. I mean, he's trying to help out as best he can.
We led that army to the north.
Yeah, there was sort of a goblin, vampire, hag, dire bear cleaning squad sweeping through the north streets of the town, and Rahk was involved in that. Following the assault, he was barely alive, but alive, and assisted primarily with trying to sort of stop the destruction in the town, the fires from spreading and things of that nature.
Things went mostly good, I would say, in your moments, in your time on the battlefield. It was a little close. There was a couple of close calls. You fought, well, one, incredibly well, but two, without much care. You were willing to throw your life on the line, suffering greater chances of failure in your defensive roles, to their to basically oblate your success, which worked out, I think. You probably did most of the damage to the dire bear. Imagine if that thing was unleashed onto the city. That would have just been an absolute terrible event, right? Like,
I don't see anything that could have gone wrong from that.
Not even a little bit. That would have been.
I am a little
Would've
sad
been
I
bad.
couldn't make it my mount.
You know, if you start taking levels in cleric, you might be able to make it happen.
You just gotta go whisper to it again.
You got to get the call. You know, I don't know who your god's going to be at this point, but I hear Ulhime's taking those that might praise to him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, if you get a saddle big enough, when I finally be able to control my Hezru form, you can hop on top.
Yes, you can ride any into battle.
I don't.
Jesus
I
Christ.
wouldn't. Just really consider it
You
first.
creepy trucker uncle, you.
Hezrus have a natural, like, singed passive. Not
Were
passive,
they-
singed.
Oh no.
Yeah. So
I'm just
it's
sitting
not going to
here-
be great.
I'm
They
just
got that
sitting here
stank
pointing
to you.
out how bad of an idea that is.
Yeah, no, it's
It's an
pretty,
awful
it's
idea.
pretty rough.
And how fucking
Literal.
awkward it would be to roleplay.
Literal fire crotch.
So something happened with Rahk. Rahk, you were trying to save someone that you thought was relatively important to these people that you're now working with. And, well, you were struggling with it. Who were you trying to save?
Dugabras.
Dugabras, yeah. But, as well as you were rolling, your ally, who was injured, was rolling very poorly. You just couldn't quite remove the threat. You were actually burning yourself. There was a tree on top of basically a wall on top of Dugabras, and this tree was on fire. Yeah. So, frustrated, you raged, and what did you just go back and like replant the tree? Did you like blow the fire out? What did this look like?
I basically a home run swung at it and sent it careening into a building.
Yeah, you definitely teed off right there. And you did. You sent it careening into the open wall, actually, which was wild because it led to a series of fires that you couldn't quite put out. What did this lead to? What effect did this have over the city?
If I'm not mistaken, it burned down a couple of the nobles' homes.
Yes. One of the prominent nobles, they happen to control something. It was actually mentioned earlier, but I don't think you guys have quite tied it together yet.
I don't think so.
Resource loss. All of the wheat.
That's right.
All of the wheat. This noble happened to run the wheat stores. What the fuck is on your forehead, Ronald?
They're lunchable ham slices.
I don't know if you're wrong.
Oh, they're.
Oh.
No,
You're definitely wrong.
I was hoping.
I'm
It's like a petri dish.
my
No.
fucking mind is gone. Yes, so the wheat stores were destroyed. What else happened to you post this though? You had to go for a meeting.
Yeah, with the mayor of the town. He basically called me and was like, "Hey, be my snitch." I was like, "Thanks for the offer, but I'll think on it."
Severin Novelon, the mayor.
Yeah, the mayor was like, "Listen, they're not really great guys. You want to talk about all the bad they did? I can tell you about some things." And you're like, "I'm not sure." Thanks, mayor, but I've got balls of steel. Yeah.
I would love if I just became Duke Nukem.
It's a new.
No, I think he was going for more of a snake solid thing there.
A snake solid.
Yep.
It's just like
Or
long
solid
cube.
snake.
Just like
Is,
long
is that
cube.
like?
Why did you have to get him started on it again, bub?
You know, snake solid.
Triggers
And
me
snake
so
venomous.
hard.
And snake liquid.
Yep.
And he just isn't ready to accept it. And he
Stop.
look up the time cube.
Don't do it, my guy. Don't do it. It's a trap.
I mean,
That's all I'm gonna say.
traps are okay sometimes.
Look up the time cube, Eddie.
Well, now that he walked away, I was going to ask, what about Cort? What's happened to him in all of this mess?
I slapped a few goblins.
Jesus Christ.
No, we also found out that Jacob knows that his master's alive. You remember that happened?
I was
Well, no,
waiting
that's
on him to yell
after
from the
we-
kitchen.
That's the very end.
We'll get to that.
Literally waiting on him to yell from the kitchen. Are there girls there? Because I would want to do them. You have
swear
any
to God,
Mountain
I'm
Dew?
We're gonna buy him a chair with a fucking seatbelt. That's what we're gonna do.
It won't work.
He'll
I won't
cut
wear
it out. He will cut it out.
So,
Cort.
Cort went with Rahk. Cort did not fight the bear. Cort instead fought the 3 witches, the 6 vampire children, and the several other goblins there. Getting drained of all of his strength, then proceeding to nearly black out while trying to save a tree off of Dougalbras with Rahk. Then blacking out, waking up, being healed, and then essentially lending myself to the guard, wandering around the lower area of the city, asking around for clues about Jacob. I don't remember anything about how that actually turned out because of the far more intense part, which is what they mentioned earlier, which was my master may or may not be coming back in the form of talking to Jacob.
I want to pose a question. This just happened, and I'm curious. Literally just hit me. What would it take? I know this is going to be harder for some of you, but what would it take to convince you guys to cosplay as your characters?
The outfit.
Who's paying for the gym membership?
I
I got to get a lot more buff really quickly.
I would
mean,
do the outfit. That's it.
I don't feel like dipping my arms in metal and shaving one of them down to the bone, but
And I'm
I can
pretty sure
try.
I could go ahead and find a lot of red makeup, but it's the whole black hair, horns, and somehow or another fabricating giant metallic crab claws and spending all night like this.
I just need a night
That
chest.
would kind of
That's all
piss
I
me
need.
off.
I would,
do
but
it.
That's what I
feel
was
like
thinking. That's what I was
I'd
thinking
do
right
it.
there. Fish foods. You know what these sound like? Excuses.
I
I
literally just need
excuse.
a night chest.
I just need
I
somebody to give
would,
me
but
a
I would
gym
want to do
membership.
it with a new character.
Will needs to get him
Like
up
right
4
now is
times
like
buff.
it's fine, but if I was to get a new character, I would probably do it then.
Why not?
Session
I'll
session
have you know
200.
that my dignity costs
No,
more
I
than...
don't necessarily mean.
Costs nothing!
I don't mean for forever. I just mean for like a night.
I do it.
Like
I'm-
We'll
I don't
talk
know.
about that more coming.
Like we'll just say, yeah, like a special milestone night, right? Like we hit episode 200. What?
We've talked about doing it on Halloween for the past like 3 years, but it's never come
That
through.
shit's coming up.
Unfortunately,
That's coming up.
you're right. You are correct.
Yeah, I'm down.
I don't care. I really like. If you want to go authentic and be dope as fuck with it, then by all means. But if you're just like, I got some tinfoil, I'm gonna wrap this arm up, then
I need to figure out what Thelsa wears on her torso. It's
just-
always
I
just
it's like a
been-
robe, though, right? Like
yeah,
a dress.
Yeah, it's been the robe that we got from the Weejos's temple.
I'm gonna need you to
Yeah.
tape some cantaloupes to your chest.
I need to go to like find a Garen top. That's all I really need.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry. If we're going to do this, I'm going to demand you go out and purchase a treasure chest or something like that.
Also know that it's not like they're gonna see all of our bodies.
No,
throughout
it's
the
pretty
camera.
much just like,
It's just top half.
yeah, like.
But it's
navel
what
up.
I'm saying.
I literally
up.
need the chest of a knight cosplay or Halloween costume or some shit.
But like,
I'm good.
if you wear that and then you just have your regular shorts on underneath and you go to walk to the bathroom or something, it's a real embarrassing
But
situation.
yeah, I would be down to
You're gonna
role
break my
play.
arm.
I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna make sure that I only wear boxers for that. It's gonna be like the ones with hearts too.
You gotta back out a frame with.
Yeah, no, I gotta go.
I would be down to cosplay it, but if we were doing like a new campaign, like from level 1 to whatever, then I would be down to like go every session in that character.
I am going to say this though: if it starts really getting on my nerves, I'm going to start playing that my character just walks around in a thong all the time.
Yeah, then you'll just play in a totally different game off stream.
I don't think my top half is a 20 charisma though.
I'm going to disagree with that. I've seen you in public at least twice. You fine.
That's right.
I'll give your front half a solid 15, but that back is a solid 20.
I thought I was gonna say 25. It's 20 even across the board.
Yeah, critical
That's
success.
Weird. So let's continue back on with the session.
I need someone in that moment, please. Just clip that and get Sniper's face. That's definitely an upcoming emote. It was perfect. The angle, the look, the wide eye stare, that was fucking amazing. Someone get that. I need that picture. Oh my god.
Clip it.
I'm gonna be a meme again. Yay! But yeah, back to the story. I just want to go ahead and say, with as often as Cort blacks out, we should be looking for Bill Cosby in somewhere in the city.
Yeah, once again, let's keep going. Let's miss that one.
And let's just roll past that.
A few things still happen though.
Yes.
Just gonna touch on a few other places here, just to make sure that everybody's informed. Jacob left the city.
Correct. He went to 2 places.
Yes.
Where did Jacob go?
He went to the Citadel.
First, I went to the Citadel, but I do want to point out that Ulhime was kind enough to gift me with a noble steed for this quest.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, a very good horse. Looks very appealing to citizens who see it. It's practically a good horse to look at. It's definitely not an undead living nightmare of skeletal bones and horse pieces falling off.
Yes, who I have now named Rattles.
Okay. It's a practical horse. I told Kiana about it. Let's move on. Let's keep going. Just go with
it. Y'all
cementing our.
When I first named him Boner. Okay, it's Rattles because
I made an undead horse so that way it would never tire. So Jacob would have more time to travel wherever he needs to. It's not safe though because if it hits a rock too hard, it's gonna blow up and just bones everywhere.
Yeah, and nobody is going to be scared of it whatsoever because I've got a tarp on it.
It's a 4 hit dice horse.
It is super inconspicuous and under the radar. But yes, while leaving the Citadel and making my way to Red Gorge.
There you go.
Yeah. Yay! On my way to Red Gorge, I go down for a night, and in the midst of the night, I hear what sounds like a plodding along horse, and then a rather large thud. A body hit the ground.
Yep.
On investigating, I find the horse not quite moving far, but it's definitely under no kind of control, and there is a gentleman who is out cold on the ground.
Definitely.
But luckily, he is alive. Note, I didn't kill him. I didn't have to do much. But, bringing him to the fire, I was able to kind of resuscitate him, get him some water, get him at least somewhat cognizant. And while, just discussing his situation, come to find out he's only got one arm, and he happens to know a member of our party, a rather young and soon-to-be knighted noble brat.
Nope, he's already knighted.
Yo, I wasn't there for that.
Keep going.
You mean I missed the party and everything?
Yeah.
Yes.
Man, I made him a card and everything too.
You missed the cake too.
Keep going. Go on, finish your recap.
But yes, that's where we left off. Jacob plans to continue on to Red Gorge and bring this rather important figure to Cort's history back to the city.
So there is
one more thing did take place.
One more thing.
So Malgrim ended up showing up to the bathhouse later that evening, and ended up dropping off a unusual item to Ulhime, telling him that it was Dugabras's last and final work, given what had happened to him. Upon unwrapping the packaging, he realized that it was a shield with a screaming face on it. And when he lifted it up, it spoke a word, pariah. And when Ulhime equipped it, the handle came up with the strap on its own to equip to him, and Ulhime realized that it did resonate with him, meaning that his soul ore had finally been crafted into the weapon for which he sought, and now holds Pariah's shield, which tap 4 and then you tap 2 to equip, and any damage that this.
That's right.
Digress, but either way, he was given his phylactery finally, and it's finally completed.
Okay.
So we have better creations, better phylacteries, Pariah Johns.
So everybody's a little bit going on right now.
Yes.
We have Jakob that has recently been conscripted into the city guard, second in command. He's been asked to leave the city. He's found a man declaring himself to be, while injured, a knight looking for his lost squire. What was this man's name?
Oh god,
Red
I
ears.
didn't think about that.
Y'all motherfuckers better
Oh,
not be
God.
looking at me for this.
Master Masterson.
It's
You
definitely
said it was like
I had
you
the
said
name
it was
that I
like
settled
something
on.
Greyweather, wasn't it?
Yeah. Oh god. Hold on. Did
I
I,
gave
type
him-
it in
You
chat?
know, I have brain damage to explain mine away.
I gave him a first name. I told you it was up to you to give him a second.
Then yeah, it was Greyweather.
Okay, what's his first name? Red.
The first, I don't remember what you called him. It was something I should have remembered. I thought I typed it down. Turns out I did not.
William
Vermilion?
Crosby Greyweather.
No, not Vermilion.
That's not Vermilion, no.
No,
It does start with an M, though.
I don't remember
It's not Master.
it. Master Masterson, I knew it.
His name's Marion.
Master Senpai.
Marion.
Marion Greyweather.
That's right. And I remember saying something about it too, because that was the name of my first character. Yeah.
Yep. And you even forgot it. Yes. Cool.
Like I said, I have brain damage to explain mine away.
You should definitely write that down somewhere.
Yeah, I am.
Write down that Sniper has brain damage.
Yeah, got it.
That as well, yes.
I'll take note for both.
Is this the fate? Let's find out.
The explanation has been made.
Let's find out.
Did we find the name?
That's the face. That is the face, actually. Yes. Thank you, Courier. That's the face. That
It's a good
intense
face.
stare. Yeah. Mr. Maddox, what's going on, Tony? Welcome in, man. This is when I need everyone to badger Mr. Maddox into returning to training me to be the world's strongest dungeon master. Because you boy needs help. I'm losing weight, not gaining any muscle yet. So,
I still keep trying biscuits and gravy, and none of them are even close to as good.
I know, man. It's hard. Hard, but
Get that recipe down.
Indiana boys, man, they can do it right. So on top, at this point, of having Jakob meeting Marion, heading to Red Gorge, being so talented with his words. Didn't you meet someone at Red Gorge? Wait, no, you hadn't been. Wait, where were you? I feel like you had already gone to Red Gorge.
He was.
No, I was
he
on
was
my
in
way
Red
to,
Gorge. He was on his way to Scissorine. Is that what's called?
Cesarine.
I mean, we can go ahead and say that he's just on his way back to the city because, the only thing he'd be doing is walking up being like, yo, we fucked. Send help.
Okay,
then-
well, you're still gonna have time to get to know Marion. I want to give you the role play there, plus you're just gonna have to speak to the right people. If you don't do a great job, you're just gonna fall short, and it's gonna look kind of poorly on you. So I'm gonna need you to have some strong and stringent role play.
Oh, God.
We also have, with Ulhime, Pariah's shield. Thus, his prophecy now tethers and ties to Naphtatorin, who is the only other creature to have had a phylactery made by Dugoras, the leading blacksmith of the elemental fire plane. Rahk is stuck in the stickiest of situations. It's literally Rahk in a hard place. He's not sure whether he should be moving to assist the mayor or assisting his newfound allies. There's some decisions to be made here. Either way, his peepers are open. He's watching what's happening, and he's sort of leaning on his moral compass. The guard is obtusely in shambles. They lost all of their men, sans 4 or 5. So many guards were killed in the combat.
The ones who survived were the ones who ran away.
Thelsa has goals. Thelsa has seen the better side of life and, well, now has been very, very close to death's door a few times. He seemingly met quite an opposing threat on the battlefield. Looked to be some kind of a wolf, you thought? But
Yeah, some sort of wolf that was tied with some lightning, some sort of elemental of sorts.
yeah. And then there's young Cort. The most unsuspecting. And, man, I kind of feel sorry for Cort at times.
I honestly think he's the most emotionally damaged out of all of us.
Super brain dead.
Yeah, I think that's probably accurate, but Cort is also incredibly young.
True, but that's what I'm saying. Like even at his age, the amount of stuff he's experienced, the amount of trauma he's experienced in that time,
Cort should.
I think is greater than what we have that's been presented to the rest of the group. If that makes any sense.
He just hasn't learned to cope with it unhealthily. He'll get there.
It's just repress. Nothing.
It'll manifest itself in the form of an addiction before too much longer.
Okay.
It's gonna be what turns my guy from what he is now into like Darius.
There are still a few things
That's socialist.
that have gone unspoken, but that's okay. Today, we pretty much leave this open because everybody seems to be moving in very different directions. But let's see what happens. The stage has been set. It is a new day. You have spoken with the mayor. You have cleansed the flames of the town. You're resource hunting because the people go without. And now, it is a new day. There are still some threats that lurk on the horizon. Still some things that need to be tended to before you are free and clear of present threat. But I leave this open to you now. It is 5 days before the end of the month. Even Frankie knows. You know what happens at the end of the month, right?
Yes.
Does anybody not remember what happens at the end of the month?
Me.
Okay. Wait.
Invasion. Oh,
Wait. Let's see. Sniper, do you know what happens?
Yes, we have to put a friend to death.
Yeah, that's it. Just saw you having this longing stare. Not sure what you were quite looking at. Maybe a burrito, perhaps a lighter. Just this intense longing upon your desk. You do. You have to put a friend to death.
correct. And I made it clear at the last session, since I have the shield, I was going to be doing that today.
Okay. Ronald, I don't know if you are still capable of it, but you were in a wind tunnel. Have been the entire time.
Yeah, it's going to be a little hard to maintain. Give me just...
You just might have to get real close to your mic. And I can still turn you up
No problem.
in Discord if it gets too bad.
No problem at all. Is this okay for now?
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Okay. The dawn is before you. Each of you have made your moves. What do you do? What does today look like?
More of the same for Cort. Going out and looking for ruffians or protecting the streets. If not that, maybe going out and trying to get food by hunting, if the village needs it.
Okay.
Whatever is really asked.
Anything that is asked of you, you will do.
odd jobs or whatever, just to make the town try and get a little bit better.
Okay.
I wasn't around last session. How much time passed during it?
6 months.
No, 6 months did not pass. It's only a brief time. We're looking at a max of 2 to 3 days.
Okay. Noted. Well, anytime during that time, up to whatever now, it could have just been recovery time. For all I know, I was pretty hurt.
Okay.
But one of the big things I wanted to do before he left town again was talk to the half-orc that brought me back and try and get him to stick around, because we need more people like him. Consider joining the guild or hiring on as one of the guards.
Okay. I'm jotting this down. What about the others? What are the rest of you guys doing?
I would be going into the bottom chapel that I've constructed to pick up the robes for Dugobras and making my way over to him.
The ropes?
Robes.
Oh, robes. Okay.
The fire resistant robe for him.
Okay. Rahk, what about you? What does today look like for you?
I'm likely going to be gathering information, trying to sort of ingratiate myself in the few havens of, I guess, social life that remain in this town. So, sort of getting a feel for what the mayor's intentions are and where his interests lie and what the public opinion is of the group that I've semi-associated myself with at this point.
Okay, so you're basically just gonna like beat feet then and get the public rapport.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, that's good. Who wants to start then? Who's eager to figure out what their day or next few days look like?
I'll let Annie go first since, it wasn't here last.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Thelsa wished to speak with a guard. You had also deigned an interest in going to the Demon Scar.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that may be ever present? Are you looking for any other people in town? Perhaps you were trying to seek out knowledge on persons or places? An item, okay.
I'm looking to try and get my athame back.
All right.
The one that the person who's due to die made me, and his parting gift to me was taken in return for nothing, and I'm kind of upset by that. But I want to look for fables and try and either make a deal or something to try and get it back.
Okay. How might you go about trying to do that? Would you have any way of reaching out to her?
I don't, but last time we spoke, she said to just ask around for her and she'd find me.
Okay.
So I had to inns and ask for fables, and then eventually either someone would point me to her or she would come find me.
All right. So are there any particular locations that you wanted to see to personally?
I'd probably just stop by the Tankard because it's the most popular one that I know.
Okay. Are you disguising yourself whatsoever?
I just go as myself.
How do you disguise yourself? What do you look like?
I would probably try and look like my former self before I had adapted the demon-like features, just because people seem to dislike having demonic features in general.
Sure. Click your disguise self. I want to see some. I want to see some of the spell. Okay. In the context of the ability, make a disguise check. You get a flat +10.
Yeah, I'm gonna use a reroll. I'll use it on a disguise check.
This is because you didn't roll a d100 to start with?
I did. I rolled a 95.
Oh, shit.
That's where my luck went.
Okay. So you're gonna add 10 to it, which is luckily a very good thing. You're very passable, right? Like you don't look like a demon. You don't exhibit a lot of the traits. Plus, it's not very hard to cover up some of those features. There is some natural wear that you can put on that's going to disguise a lot of that. Long robes, heavy robes that are going to disguise the way your feet look. Also for your arms. You can still wear gloves and things of that sort, but the moment that you cast Disguise Self, it applies a bit of a glamour. And this glamour will conceal a lot of the additional features that you just can't quite cover up. The horns that decorate your hairline seem to suddenly blend in and almost look like hair itself. Highlights in your style and look. You're already incredibly very charismatic. Now you just appear to be a mostly beautiful woman. A keener eye might see through this, but a lot of the people in this town passed away. You see to Griffin. You wish to go to the Tip Tankard.
Yes.
Business is booming, even very early. You see to the door. Do you immediately burst in? Do you kick in the door and demand attention? What does this look like?
No. For the most part, I don't really want more attention on myself, since, some people have keener eyes than others. I'm just going to try and be more of a passive patron.
Okay.
And, I'll approach the counter and see if Griffith's working. Sometimes he's busy.
Griffin and his son are working. His wife is also there. But he sees you, and though in his older age, though even happily married, finding anyone inside of a police bar, especially a woman such as your caliber, is clearly a reason that you're here. So he immediately sees and tends to your needs. Hello, ma'am. Welcome to the Tip Tankard. Is there anything I can get for you?
Yes. I'm looking for someone that goes by the name of Fable. I'd also like an ale if you need some time to think about it.
Give me a perception.
34.
Very cool. Very cool. Give me a sense motive.
12.
All right. You don't think there's anything going on here specifically with Griffin? Fables? The only fables I've known is the tales that was told to me as a boy, and those I tell to my son. Had told to my son.
Right. Then maybe you've seen her. She's quite a beautiful lady, and she's got bright red hair.
You should describe some of the clientele that comes here. You should go speak to Lady Leslie in the corner. You might find yourself, sir, in a situation where, if that's what you fancy, then she might happen to find the woman for you.
Noted. And knowing he's talking about the female pimp.
Yeah.
I'm gonna approach and we'll see if she's seen her at least.
Sure.
I'm sure she keeps eyes on all the pretty women around town.
She might. But as you approach the table, she lets her gaze fall to all of you, from the floor to the ceiling. She wants to see what makes you the way that you are. When you step to the table, she says, we have a pretty one. To whom do I owe this blessing?
My name's Thelsa.
Thelsa. Well, the ladies here call me Mistress. Those that are close call me Leslie. The men call me Mistress Leslie. I happen to run things around here. Not the bar per se, but the comings and goings of the men and my girls. Are you looking for work?
Not quite. I've got a busy schedule, as it seems.
You sure? I think you could drum up quite a bit of coin. Break some hearts. Fill some pants. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what you're saying. I am looking for one lady in particular that maybe you've seen before.
Oh, you fancy a type. Didn't expect you to be a buyer. Go on, tell me
Her
then.
name is Fables.
Sense motive.
Fourteen.
One-upped. Can't say know anyone by the name of Fables. None of the girls I know are named Fables, anyway. Are you sure we have other very beautiful women capable of many things? We just got a contortionist in. It's very bendy, that one.
Well, maybe some other time. I'm looking for this woman in particular at the moment, and if I had more time, perchance I'd indulge myself, but I kind of need her at the moment.
Well, if I happen to stumble across a woman by the name of Fables, you said?
That's right.
Let's do a tell her. Thelsa's looking for her?
Yes. Yes, she knows who I am, and she seems to be able to find me a lot better than I could find her.
Noted. If I happen to find or stumble across anyone by that name, I'll let them know. I'll let them know.
I appreciate it.
You come back soon. It'll be lovely seeing you again.
And, you as well. And I'll head out.
She never quite breaks glare. And if you find yourself peering back, she keeps watching. Do you do anything when you leave this place? Do you wait outside? Do you meander on? Do you hit another bar?
Yeah, I would head over to whatever the next closest bar is.
Well,
I can't say that I don't think we've ever been to another bar aside from the Tankard in the 160 episodes.
no, you guys definitely have. You definitely have.
I just don't remember it.
The problem is, one of them burned down. And another one of them was destroyed in the goblin attack, which led to it being burned down.
Griffin knows us.
There are a few locations that are still functioning, but they're the higher end establishments. Oh, even the Cusp. You guys went to the Cusp as well. And that place also burned down.
Oh,
Good riddance. Let's go dance on the ashes.
that was the Nobles bar.
That was the Nobles Bar, yeah.
Griffin was in on it the whole time.
Yeah, he planned this. He just went and burned down all the other.
Sided with the vampires to bring in business.
He actually burnt down just the
Wouldn't
cusp.
it suck if it
It's
turns
like-
out at the very end that Griffin is the big bad evil guy?
It's actually
Don't plant that seed. All it takes is that, and then suddenly everyone's trying to kill this man.
I don't believe it's a thing because like you killed his son, he definitely would have had some kind of repercussions instead of just crying. He'd have
No.
blasted you to bits.
He definitely threw. He threw his son into the tentacles. You know, that's how it worked.
Oh, gotcha. And he's much better.
I picture it as the cusp being in the northwest of town, where there's like no damage, and then there's just the cusp in the middle of a bunch of buildings, perfectly fine, completely burnt down as he kicks away a thing of like gasoline. Oh, it's a real shame. Those goblins. Can't believe they got to the cusp. Well, everyone come on over to the Tankard. We'll do a round for everyone.
First round's on the house.
Mm-hmm.
And looking over your guys' your laundry list of things to take care of, you've actually gone through a fair amount of
Yeah, that happens when half the town dies.
of backlogged material that you've just needed to kind of flesh out. But it's a good thing. So,
Well, yeah, we were trying to talk earlier tonight about what is left of our laundry list, and I don't think any of us have an idea.
Nope.
so there are a handful of taverns that still remain. But amidst those, the one that probably leaps out the most that wasn't seen to have taken many damages would have been the Brass Trumpet. And the Slippery Eel. Do either of those sound like a destination you might...
Yes, both of them actually.
I want to go to the Brass Trumpet primarily. The Slippery Eel sounds like it would be full of Leslie's.
I don't know what you're insinuating there, my guy, but treading thin ice.
Lovely women.
That's right.
That are married to lovely men.
Okay. You get the destination of the Brass Trumpet. You don't really know what it's like, but most people kind of give you leery looks about the place. Do you wish to ask any questions as you're trying to get the directions to this establishment, or do you find yourself just taking it and going?
I'd probably stop by to someone that looks like they know where they're going. I'd kind of watch the side streets and look for someone who's a little more out of the way. Like, I don't want to join some kind of group of people talking just to interrupt. I'm looking to kind of keep it a bit more covert and try and find someone who can point me in the right direction at least.
Okay, that makes sense. Give me a perception, and about how long do you intend to wait?
Probably not long. A couple minutes before I start to find myself wandering, looking for it myself if I can't get anyone to help me.
Okay.
30.
That's pretty good. You will happen to find someone that does sort of fit the bill. It looks just to be some kind of wandering worker, a laborer of sorts. A little older, likely has seen much of the town. You may have even seen him passing by at some point in your life here in Cauldron. Inevitably, if you stop him, he's not going to turn down questions of a pretty lady.
Yeah. I'm gonna try and stop him. Kind of tap him on the shoulder, just try and get his attention.
Sure. You manage to tap him on the back or the shoulder, and he spins around fairly quickly, with almost an uncanny quickness. But there's a pep in his step. He turns to you, probably in his late 30s, early 40s. He's wearing a bit of a worker's apron. It's leather. There's some tools in it. His arms are dirtied, but his hands are freshly cleaned. You're not really sure of the purpose or why that is, but he seems jovial in nature. He looks at you.
Hi, I'm looking for the Brass Trumpet, and I'm wondering if you would happen to be able to point me in the right direction.
Why'd you be going there?
Why wouldn't I be going there?
Well, there's not much there now, is there? The Brass Trumpet's been emptied for a while now, and well, you would think that a lady like yourself, she wouldn't just find herself in a desire to go to a vacant or empty bar.
I was just looking for an ale, and I'm trying to kind of steer clear of the more popular ones.
Well, last I heard, it was going to be tore down and rebuilt, refashioned as something. My brother actually was in charge of getting the works for labours, but you could still go there. Maybe you can still swing a low fee and buy the building yourself.
That sounds plausible. Where would it be located?
Oh, sure, not a problem. He turns and he kind of gives you directions. Like, You go about 2 or 3 minutes down Obsidian Avenue, and you once you reach the T, then you take a right and go down Crust, and you happen to be there. You'll find the place. It got big windows, but you see that it's a bit boarded up at this point. There's a stylized trumpet that's carved into the door, but a bit dated, weather worn.
Noted. Thank you very much, sir. And if I do happen to buy the place, you should swing by sometime, and there'll be a nail in the house.
To the trumpet? Or...
Yes, the trumpet, or the bathhouse is where our guild is currently located. That's still forming. We're trying to get something.
You're offering me a drink at the bathhouse? That does seem a bit odd.
It would be ale, I promise.
So I can have bath and beer then?
Once the bathhouse is rebuilt, currently it's kind of been torn asunder, and I'm sure you've taken note as a laborer yourself.
Sounds quite nice, then. I think I will, then. If you're going to build a bath and brew, it might be what this town needs. Maybe terrible things will stop happening if they can get a bath and a brew at the same time.
We'll try.
You have a good day, then.
Yes, and you as well.
He returns back to his jovial step, and he leaves, ambling off somewhere you're not sure where.
Alright, I'm a walk about 2 to 3 minutes down Obsidian Avenue and take a left at the...
Sure. The directions are legitimate. You are capable of finding, exactly what you're going to need. And he's not wrong. It is an abandoned building, as far as you can tell. It seems, for all intents and purposes, like it's gone underused for quite a long time.
But I'm gonna try and find a way in. I don't know if the door is boarded up or not. I just want to kind of check it out inside and see.
Sure. The door itself is locked when you try it, and it seems to be one of the few locations in all of the town that happens to have what you would best guess is a traditional handle or a knob of sorts, which is bizarre because most of the other buildings here, that's not the case. Most of them are free swings, and you are capable of pulling and barring the door from the back, but none of them kind of like anchor into a frame itself. Unless, of course, you are a noble, which might speak to the quality of this establishment. It's locked.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a walk around and look for a back door or a window or something that would be easier to access, and if not access, easier to break in without being seen.
Okay. You circle the building, and there, outside of the front windows that happen to be upon this place, there's not much. There's no additional windows. There does seem to be what looks some free swing basement doors, like a crawl space maybe, you're not sure, but it's a bit large. What do you do?
I'm gonna see if I can get into those basement windows. I don't know if they open or not, or if they're just solid windows.
The windows in the front of the building?
Yeah, if possible.
You can see that they're windows due to the depression in the architecture itself, but they are boarded up.
And there's no openings around the backside?
You can see that the crawl doors that remain, which are just two like larger wooden style doors, again, meant for more than one person to go through at a time if need be. You could enter in from that. It's also protected. There is quite a bit more of the area that is hidden.
Yeah, I'd likely try and get into those doors instead. I don't really want to be, breaking into houses or breaking into buildings in front of everyone in the streets.
Sure, you don't want to draw a lot of attention.
Yep.
Do you try the handle immediately, or do you...
Yeah, first thing I try is just to open the door normally.
Okay. When you place your hand on the handle itself, there is some sort of warmth to it. It's just a flat brass fitting. Nothing crazy about it, but there is some sort of warmth to it. You notice it. It's not an exceptionally hot day. There's not really much in the way of sun overhead that seems to beat down upon it.
Right.
There is even some tree cover, so what would make this hot?
Yeah, I'm gonna turn on my detect magic and see if this door is somehow magically guarded or something of the sort.
When you turn on your detect magic, your eyes seem to pale over that almost lucid mercury. It is magical. There is magic upon this door. Do you wish to identify exactly what type?
Yeah, I tried to.
Okay. How would you like to do that?
I'd probably just determine what roots it came from. Try and see if I can guess what spell it is or what kind of guarding that I know from personal experience.
Sure. Give me a spellcraft. That's very good. Very good. You can immediately recognize that this follows the flow of abjuration, which, as described before in the past, magic itself is very different for every individual, but you have to work inside of the same forays, and each school of magic happens to have their own kind of rune work, their own style of writing to it. And magic is, in and of itself, an extension of one's person, but it's also this prelayed and elaborate runic work. And what you can see is abjuration. It's a familiar spell, one that you probably used many times. It's alarm.
Gotcha. I'm gonna try and peer in through the windows to see if there's people inside.
Okay.
Because I don't see buildings that are magically enchanted very often.
Sure.
I want to look for like dust or, if it looks like there's been someone inside.
Okay. You turn immediately and run to the front door, or try to peer through the windows, or do you move with trepidation? How do you do this?
I wouldn't try and run. I'd walk for the most part. But I'm not going to try and make it hidden that I'm checking out the building.
Okay.
If someone comes and asks, I'll say I'm in the market. And, I'm just kind of trying to figure out what's going on in here, but without causing people to think I'm trying to be disruptive.
You get 3 steps. That's about how long it took. 3 steps. Give me a perception. A voice cracks the quiet air. The city is very still at the moment. It's still relatively early. A voice you've heard before. Looking for someone. Do you recognize it?
I'm gonna turn to the voice and say, I am. Someone specific.
A woman. With red hair, crimson, braided to the side. Gloves on hand, but not on all fingers. She wears robes to disguise the leathers that you know are hidden beyond. The robes are red and brown, with traces of black that seem to be weaved in, to fit a very particular deity that you're very well aware of.
Yes.
Thelsa. It's been a little while.
Yes. Too long.
She kicks a leg off of the tree and pushes herself forward. What can I help you with?
I have recently been informed that you may have come into something that belongs to me, and I'm looking to try and figure out how I can get it back from you.
Belongs to you.
It was crafted for me.
I don't own anything of yours.
You might not own it, but it was given to you by the tiefling that was in the jail.
Oh, Jakob!
Yes.
Jakob, what? He's messy, isn't he?
He's, yeah, messy doesn't cover half of it.
Well, if I told you that I didn't know who had your thing, your item, your personal belonging, would you believe me?
I would, but I don't know if I'd be happy about it.
Well, I know where it went, but I don't know who has it now. But I know that the intentions are for it to come back to you.
Then, could you by chance tell me who it went to?
I can't. You see visible frustration pool up over her face.
Can't. Won't.
Not a matter of won't. I can't.
Why might that be?
I can't.
You can't as in you're not physically capable? Or you can't as in, if you do, there will be repercussions on you?
Have you ever leaned against a wall and thought how nice it might be to just run through that wall? Like the basalt walls of Cauldron. To just be able to walk through. I do. As a thief in the night, I frequently think it would be amazing if I could walk through walls. But that would be too easy. But no, let's just say I have a bit of a wall. And I can't.
Stay a while and listen.
I understand. So you say its intentions are to come back to me. Do you know how long that's going to take? Or who's going to give it to me, or when I can expect it? Because it means more to me than just being a belonging.
Sooner before later, I believe. I don't know exactly when, but what I am aware of and what I can speak of is that, well, as a sister, I see no harm in disclosing that you will be used as a pawn in a bigger play. And it will be used as leverage. Because someone else thinks that this is equally as important.
I'm not surprised, to be fair.
I don't know why they wanted this. I don't know why you want it. But maybe I should want it if so many of you are seeking this broken blade.
I want it because it was a personal gift from someone who is set to pass soon. And he was very upset when it was taken, and he wasn't very happy with the person who took it. And therefore, someone I care about having these feelings, being upset, and it bothers me. And I kind of want to see to it that I get it back before he is set to depart. And for some reason, that seems to be sooner than later.
I'm genuinely sorry. I wish that I could usher this to you. You've done me no wrong. In fact, you have made things much easier for me. And you're loyal to the same god as I. But there are bigger things at work here, and as much as I would like to help, I can't. I will not say that I am or have been forbade, but that I have a wall. I have a wall. There's a certain disgust to her about this. She's moved fluidly about everything, and she seems to weave an intricate tale, trying to use her charisma to spin you into favor. But this time there is something scant about how she discusses this wall. Something that is a bit of an obstruction in her life.
Say, what would happen if I were to somehow be able to take this wall down?
Well, there's this like moment of hope that crosses her face. The company in charge of building that wall would know. They have their own wall watchers.
And, could you tell me who this company was? I'm sure if they ran out of business or ran out of workers, then the walls could be taken down.
I can't. But be sure that they will have the last laugh.
Yeah, I figured. I'll look into it further. And I'll see what I can do about your wall. I don't have much more time. I need to take care of a lot of things in a little bit of time. But I appreciate your time.
If I have one piece of parting advice for you, you should stay away from this place. Not because there is nothing good here. And that alarm alerts more than me.
I figured. What was this place? A noble tavern of sorts?
At one point, many years ago, yes. It seemed to be a thoroughfare for those in between, somewhere between the upper city and the lower. The middle class bar of sorts.
Gotcha. It just looks... I like the feel of it, but it just seems out of place.
It does give that feel. Which is probably why most people avoid this location.
Noted.
Be careful.
I'll try and steer clear.
Can't say that I didn't warn you.
It is what it is, I suppose. Thank you for your time. I'm gonna head out.
She watches you leave.
I'm gonna walk straight into the tree.
Straight into the tree.
Into the tree. I'm gonna cast Tree Strike.
Oh my god.
Like, I wish your spells didn't work still, because it would be great to just...
Walk into the tree?
Yeah. Ha! Badass moment. Goodbye.
Yeah, I'm taking a trip.
Oh.
When you cast the spell, you gain the ability to step into a tree, magically infusing yourself with a plant. Once within a tree, you can teleport from that particular tree to another tree. The trees you enter must be one of the same kind, must be living, and must have a girth of at least equal to yours. By moving into an oak tree, for example, you instantly know the location of all other oak trees within transport range.
I asked you before what kind of trees were around, and you were real confused when you answered. This was why.
You know, if you would have prefaced with you had a tree leaper spell, then maybe I could have given you a little more to work with than, huh?
Yeah, I'm trying to make my way over to the Demon Scar via trees. And I'm gonna go visit the Demon Boys sooner than later.
Okay, all right. So we're gonna break away from you, and we're gonna pass it along to another. Who else?
Cort.
Cort. This is the best. I love it when we catch Austin unprepared. Which is like most of
Oh,
his
you mean
life.
every time you say his name.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been listening.
I know you have. I know you have.
I made a pizza, which is why I was getting up and down so much.
I know that you can hear it, so it doesn't bother me that you get up.
I'm actually wearing them this week.
Hey! So, Cort,
Hello.
what are you doing, friend?
Odd jobs.
Just a moment. I really hope Ronald just comes in and slaps the shit out of him. Just knocking that right off his head. Odd jobs. What sort of odd jobs?
Either still patrolling for the guard,
Okay.
looking for people that are trying to start shit, or helping with construction efforts, or hunting if there's a food shortage still. Because I have a feeling there's probably still hunters in the town.
Hunters.
They might be looking.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
They might be looking for help. I don't know the food situation that well, so I just know that there is a big loss. So he'd just be kind of seeing where he could be best used.
Okay.
Nothing,
When you said odd jobs, I just pictured Cort being like, you know what? This is the best time to open up a kissing booth.
I'm gonna make a lemonade stand right outside the bathhouse.
$6.
Just
Shitty
don't
lemonade.
question. Just don't question where we get it from. I can tell you the quick answer. It's not lemons.
When life hands you lemons.
Look, there's only a few cups for now. Come back in about an hour and there'll be more.
Perfect. All right, friend. You're moving about town asking various people the type of help that they might need for whatever project is before them. And you know that they need help.
Yeah.
You're very well aware that they need help. Where will you go first? Let's just say this in retrospect to a compass rose.
Probably to the medium part, like not the fucked up war zone and not the safe area, so that kind of bleeding into it. So like, what was it? Southwestish.
Southwest.
That was kind of where it started bleeding into the like bad South territory, if I remember correctly, because the South was fucked, right?
It's pretty much northeast, east, southeast,
or yeah,
and
southeast.
south seems to be
are gone.
fairly destroyed. Yeah, but
Yeah,
most of the north and the northwest are okay.
yeah. So and the Southwest is that kind of bleeding area, correct?
Okay. Yeah,
Then yeah, I'd be going around there since that's probably where there's the brunt of it.
got it. Sounds good. Okay. Southwest.
Yeah.
Heading unto the southwest. Let's see what we have here. How far? Will you go all the way out to the Cauldron Obsidian Walls, or what are you thinking?
Hold on, let me look on the map. Probably like to High Sword. Like not all the way out there, but kind of in the middle, like this.
I see High Tome, Middle Tome, Low Tome. Oh,
Sword.
I gotta scroll over.
Yeah.
Okay, High Sword.
Yeah.
All right, that's definitely like that's still
That's
more
that's
west
more. Yeah.
than anything.
Then I'll go for Middle Tome Street. Let's go Middle Tome.
All right, sure.
Using those.
Middle to High Tome.
Yeah. So I guess Magma Avenue would be the all-encompassing road.
I got you. So your goal is to move about these areas to sort of see what work needs to be done and offer your help.
Yeah.
Well, immediately, there's a lot of rebuilding that is going on. This area did see some fire touch down, but not so much that it isn't immediately functional. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But moving down Middle Tome to High Tome, so Magma Avenue itself, roll me percentile. Roll me a D100.
Okay. 47.
47. You happen to find a man, an older man, who is attempting to push a wagon of sorts. Not what you would expect out of a full-size wagon. This is more akin to just slightly larger than a wheelbarrow. It is a man-drawn, two-wheeled cart. But he seems to be stuck on some loose timber, and he is a bit older. Nobody's helping him. Give me perception.
Okay. Let's see.
Very good. Cort, you can see inside of his cart, his pull behind, that there are bodies inside of it. Younger people than himself. Much
Bring
younger.
out your dad.
Something like that, yeah.
And you said he looked how old?
Probably in his late 50s, early 60s.
Cort would more than likely approach him.
Okay.
Excuse me, sir. Do you need any help?
He pauses for a moment. When he looks up to you, his hands sort of shaking. Leans in and he wipes his forehead. You can see it visibly moves, this dirt and dust. Sweat kind of pools up around the right side of his temple. Leans in and takes what seems to be most of his shirt. It's not tore, not bedraggled. Wipes his face as much as he can. Yes, forgive me. No, I seem to be stuck. I can't seem to move my cart. If you wouldn't mind helping me, I would be very grateful.
Oh, well, sure. What do you need me to do? Is it the wheel, or?
I just need to get it over the top of this what might be most of a home.
It's kind of like a push cart, right?
Yeah.
I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Cort would would get behind it and kind of get ready to push. Not really hesitating to get by the guy's side and get into that little area and moving.
Okay. He leans down before his cart and picks up the arm bars and he hoists them onto his side, wrapping his arm up tight. And then he starts to lean. He says, "Heave!" And he starts to take a step. As he does so, you can hear him grunt. And it doesn't budge at all. Is this where you kind of give aid?
Yeah.
What are you trying to do? Do you want to lift this, or do you actually want to pull? Or, excuse me, push?
I wanted to pull, personally, because I feel like that would be better than pushing this cart into him. I've already seen how that went after the portal.
Okay, all right, sure. He struggles for a moment, probably 3, 4, 5 seconds, before he realizes it's not getting anywhere. And then, with some angst, some disgust, he drops it, and he just says, "Damn it!"
I can try pulling from the front if you want.
He turns back to see you. If you like to try, then yeah, I will not stop you.
Me and Frankie will both stand up and do it. Right, Kat?
He has that typical, the typical response which you'd see out of a lot of older men before he talks. Before he talks, he makes sure that he wets his lips. So there's to deliver it unto you. He does a lot of like lip licking.
Yeah.
If you like to give it a go, then by all means, try.
I will step up.
Moves out of the way. Give me strength.
By the way, how much of my modifier have I lost from that drain?
Probably 2.
Okay.
You had 2 native days rest, so 2.
So it's still not as strong as I need to be.
Correct. It's not exceptional.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and
Reroll.
not better.
Not,
Better, but not better.
Yeah, it's better, but not better. You're right. He looks to you as you try, and he's like, "It's hard, isn't it? I know it wasn't just me. I may be old, but still have something."
Can I check out the cart and see if it's stuck on anything particular?
Yeah, you can.
Perception?
Yeah. You're not really sure why it's stuck. The wheel seems to roll back just fine, but anytime it rolls forward, it seems to hit this exact point and then it just stops.
Can I try reversing it far back enough to where I would be able to move it to the right and then go forward?
See what you actually want to pick up like the ass end of this or drag it to the side.
Well, no, so imagine backing up a car, picking it up, and then walking backwards, and then turning, and then walking around what's blocking it.
I do frequently imagine picking up cars, but it's not a world I live in, my friend. But I believe that you can do this. Yeah, give me a strength.
Yeah. Okay. See how horrible this one can go. That one. Hey!
You succeed.
Ain't
You're
so
able.
bad.
You're able to shift the cart. I imagine you grab it from the rear side. You kind of pull it back and then amble it out off to the side, or at least away and behind. You notice as you kind of wheel it back, however, to X point, that the left wheel comes up. Like, not so terribly so, but something noticeably causes the wheel to arc up, and it actually lifts it off the ground slightly. Visibly, there's nothing in its way.
Someone visible there.
Yeah, can I grab at whatever's it would technically be walking over? Like, can I try to swipe at whatever would be there? Because it would look like dirt, I'm assuming.
Sure. You swipe your hand there, and it doesn't really feel like anything is there. Give me perception. There is a tremendous nail that has been driven through this. Almost intentionally so. Someone did not want this thing moved. So every time the wheel started to roll, it would move up to the top most high point of the cart, and the wheel would just stop turning.
Can I remove the nail?
I'm sure you can. How would you like to do that?
Let me see what I have in my bag. I think I have something for this.
Cort's just like, no, it's fine.
That looks great.
Pushes it through with just his hand.
I take my hand and I just
bite it and pull away.
no.
Things that shouldn't work in any other situation ever. Don't ever bite and pull.
And you're not from Canada, I guess.
I don't know how the moose do it up there, my friend.
Hey.
But now I know why they scream the way they do when they're in heat.
Deer are good for that too.
Oh god.
You ever hear deer in heat? They scream hilariously. Like, it's one of my favorite noises in the world. And don't quote that out of context, please.
No, that's the best. You know one of my favorite noises in the world? Deers in heat. Yeah.
Yeah, we can quote that completely in context, and it's still going to be bad.
Yeah, you're right. It's a great noise.
I think Cort might go to the old man and excuse me, there seems to be a nail in the wheel. Do you have anything that we could remove it with? I think it's what's causing the issue.
A nail?
It's about this big, and it's haunt. I'm gonna drag him over there and show him the nail. I think it's what's making this a bit more difficult than it should be.
How did that get there? Seems confused. He's like scratching the back of his head. Give me a sense motive.
Do I have that on my main one? Let me see.
Yeah, everybody has sense motive on their character sheet.
No, I have specific ones shown.
Cort,
I don't know.
the nail is it's pretty obvious.
Yeah.
And how far could he have honestly got
By just doing this.
Was the cart just in the middle of the street? Something seems a little off.
I'm unsure what I want to do, honestly.
Oh, play.
Yes. Suck a dick, SpongeBob. Maybe we should at least work on getting this out first, and then we can figure out where it came from, right?
I just don't understand how a nail was driven from the inside. Someone had to put it there.
How were you able to get it this far, though?
Well, it was already in the street, and it wasn't being used.
Give me another sense motive.
Oh, yeah, it's right up arrow. Tell me your secrets up arrow.
Something still seems off.
Well, then, why are you trying to bring it somewhere if it was just here?
Well, he pauses for a moment, and he moves to the wagon, and he pulls a tarp. You could see an arm before, but now what you see is very different. It is still bodies. It's a woman and a boy. A young boy, probably 7, 8 years old. The woman, late 20s. Her face and upper body are burned. Her bones that are exposed are broken, shattered. The boy is missing a shirt. He has a very intricate cut placed just below his bottom left rib. He looks to you. His eyes not quite welling up. This is my family.
Well, how haven't you brought them to the guard? They've been trying to heal people.
You can't heal the dead boy.
Well, if it's your family, why do you think the nail's in the wheel then? Why would someone want to stop that?
I use it as a reminder. A reminder that even in the most difficult of times, that I will persevere. And I walked these streets today with this wagon, grating the nail against its upper hull, waiting to find the man that killed my family. The ache in my skin, and the burn, the blisters on my feet, the exhaustion, it paints my body, is a reminder You know him.
Do I?
Yes, you do. And it's just by happenstance that I've come across you. As yesterday I requested a dossier on everyone you align yourself with, and everyone he knows. And you are the only one who doesn't deserve to die a horrible death. You are actually good. While still young, you still have time to make mistakes. But from what I know, and from what my remaining family know, you are good. So I will not seek revenge upon you. But the one named Jakob, I will see to it that his feet blister and bleed, that his skin burns, that his body knows exhaustion. And then when he is weakened, gasping for life, I will do as he did to my grandson. I will cut beneath his ribs, and with my hand, I will crush his lungs.
Cort is kind of in between disbelief and totally, yeah, that sounds right.
And you probably think that for my age I am incapable. That at my frail strength, that I am not even humanly possible at pulling this cart, let alone slaying a real monster. And there is truth to that. There is truth. In my younger years, I was much more capable. But I've learned a lot. And while I am no young buck, I will simply not be forgotten. Do you believe me, Cort?
I don't disbelieve you.
Do you think an old and frail man can take your demon of a friend? What are my chances?
I've seen weirder. I mean, he got stabbed in the middle of the streets at one point.
He reaches up and he begins to pull at the threads of his sleeve, breaking it. And you see that it seems to remove the sleeve itself, but these threads seem to kind of pull down and leave hanging still, just down his upper arm and the bicep.
Mm-hmm.
And then as he removes the sleeve, there's a wrist cuff that rests at his wrist. And the threads seem to hang just beyond that. You notice that they seem to be different, however, that they shimmer with the light. And he does the same with the other. And when he pulls them off, you can see this as well. It looks a little odd, not like it's supposed to be, and there is no threatening or menace about it whatsoever. I know my muscles aren't quite the same as they used to be. But he brings his hand up while it still seems to shake. He purses his lips before biting down, and then he snaps. And when he does, the sound around you mutes. There is a deafening silence. Not from the world, not from the air. The air continues to blow. The birds still tweet, but the people around you, they stop moving. Give me a perception.
He's been incepted.
I've been sent to the Shadow Realm. I didn't even bring my Yu-Gi-Oh deck.
The people around you, those that seem to walk the streets, that are attempting to remove rubble, various bits of debris that still remain, kicking out cinders that still seem to hang in the most burnt places. They're frozen. They're stopped. You look a little closer at a few of them, and for a brief moment you actually think that time stopped around you, but the birds still continue to tweet. Your eyes, however, capture something a little more bizarre. Those threads that hung freely at his wrist, they moved. They still move. And all of those people that surround him, as far as your eyes can see, their skin pulls tightly, as if a blade is being pushed against their face in multiple places, that a ribbon is being drawn across them. One of them falls. Their arms tighten to their side, look wrapped. Their fingers move, but their arms cannot. They blink. When one of them tries to break free, he mutters out a scream as you hear a snap. His nose breaks. People, as far as you can see, cannot move. Their skin has all of the same depressions in them.
This is everyone is a hostage.
Yes.
Everyone, yeah. Everyone's frozen. Everyone's hostage.
And before you get any ideas, as I know that you care for this man, to at least some degree, I do still have some of my own backup prepared, just in case you were to try to be a hero.
And he brings up his other hand. And instead of snapping where it looks like, his fingers begin to freely move. And as they wave, there's an amble still in his wrist, almost like he's shaking from age. And it takes a moment, but as you watch on, the foreground, past his hand, you see a twitch, and a shake. And his dead grandson sits straight up in the cart.
That's why I didn't bring him to a healer.
His burned daughter snaps several times. Crackling bones sits up as the jaw, distended, half shattered, chitters its teeth.
Sniper, why am I paying for your things? Did you stop killing civilians?
He said he only wanted to help, but he only made it worse. And that night I didn't have my cuffs. I couldn't pull the beam from my daughter. I couldn't stop him from killing my grandson. Now I can make him suffer.
God damn it, Sniper.
As soon as I find him.
His pinky moves with a quick flourish. You hear a snap. And a single thread wheels up, almost like the tentacle of some forlorn sea creature, wielding a 9-inch nail. Iron, twisted and gnarled. The thread lowers to just in front of you. Go on. Put out your hand.
I don't really have a choice here. I don't like it. Cort's gonna do it anyways, I guess. Because there's only bad choices here.
When you raise your hand, he just unfurls the thread, and it falls to your palm. You are still good. Therefore, you will not suffer the way that he will. But you can take this as a reminder. I may have retired years ago, but I'm still as sharp as ever. And now, I hunger for his blood. If you see him, pass along a message. Tell him that he's a terrible individual. Tell him that he's killed enough people, and that I don't care about his position in the guard. And he will suffer the way that I am now. Have a good day, Cort. Take care of yourself. He turns, puts himself to the wagon, re-snaps his finger. Those that were tethered are now freed and they fall. No idea what's happened, as he spoke low enough that no one could quite hear either of you. And he pulls his deceased daughter and grandson. The birds continue to tweet, and all goes back to normal in Cauldron.
Cort's just gonna kind of fall to the floor. Just gonna kind of sit there. Just gonna take a nice breather for a bit. Hold the nail. Are we the good guys?
Now we finally get to reap what we sow.
Yeah.
Cort's just gonna fucking sit there for a few hours, maybe. He's gonna fucking come back down to reality. Don't mind him. I'm gonna make sure that I'm out of the way of the carts, and he's just gonna kind of sit there, just kind of reflecting on what the fuck just happened.
Yeah. I'm gonna take a brief moment to get something to drink, run to the bathroom. I'm gonna give the floor open to all of you guys so you can talk still. To everybody that's here. So,
God damn it, Sniper.
have fun. I'll be right back, okay?
Putting up the away screen.
Oh, okay.